Greetings, everyone. My name is Joelle Hodge. I am joining you from my office here at Classical Academic Press. I'm very excited to be hosting a course for you this summer titled Remembering the Liberal Arts Tradition with a focus on Christine de Pizan. I'm just going to read a little bit of the course description here for you, and then I'll talk a little bit more specifically about the course itself. So the basic idea here is that whether we realize it or not, we have suffered a loss of collective memory, and there are consequences to any society that allows itself to forget individually or collectively, in this case, the essential parts of its rich heritage and the inheritance of its past. It has been said that the opposite of remembering is forgetting, but it's not really. It's really dismembering. That's what has happened to our story. However, when we remember the women of the liberal arts tradition, we are essentially remembering or re-peopling our history with the people and the stories that create for us a more complete account of who we have been. A community that abdicates its responsibility to practice a habit of remembrance will be a community eventually forgotten. So we must guard against allowing that dark amnesia of obscurity to sort of rob us of our collective memory, which we are entitled to. For this course, we will explore the lost voices of the women in the liberal arts tradition, and in particular, focus on the works of Christine de Pizan. The information we seek to recover and remember is, and this is a long quote from St. Augustine, but this information is so far back and thrust away in remote places that it requires a drawing forth by some other man's teaching to enable us as a community of educators to think those thoughts again. So our first lesson will focus on a high-level overview of the importance of memory and provide a survey of the many women who could be chosen for future exploration and discovery. And we probably could have chosen any number of them to have talked about in this course, women from the Pythagorean Circle to St. Macrina, to Dwoda, Ratsvita, Hildegard von Bingen. There are so many, but we're going to focus on Christine. And then after we talk about this overview, sort of the survey of women and the idea of memory, then we'll spend the remainder of our sessions together working through some of the writings of Christine de Pizan and selections of those writings. Her accomplishments within the liberal arts tradition are many. She published the first illustrated children's book, despite that honor usually being assigned to John Amos Comenius, who I also happen to revere. She also participated in the first public literary debate, which we'll talk about in a moment. She was the first woman in France and possibly in Europe to earn a living solely by writing. And she was the first woman humanist of the French Renaissance. She is perhaps among the best women to highlight for a course like this because of the sheer volume of work that she produced in her lifetime. Throughout her writings, we can easily see not only who influenced her, Dante will be among them. So if you're a Dante fan, you will definitely see some parallels there and some echoes from him. But we'll also witness how impactful her writings have been within the tradition itself. So sessions 2 through 6 of this course will allow us to explore several examples of her writing and discuss the broader impacts of her work. I only picked one text, the selected writings of Christine de Pizan. There's a translation and an ISBN for you to pick from to make sure we get the right one. I could have asked you to pick all of the books, and we would have gotten through many fewer. And I just wasn't quite sure what the best way to go here is. She's not familiar to everybody, so I thought maybe a survey and kind of an overview of her work might be better than just focusing on one piece and just making us go through one piece or maybe two pieces. So I will be using other books and resources in my preparation for the course. Particularly on that of memory, and then also in preparation for my work with Christine. So you don't need to commit to buying all of those other books. For just that one book for the selected readings will be all you need. And then I might provide some PDFs of pages from other books that I have. They're going to be well marked and annotated if I do, because I'm a writer when I read. So anyway, there's 6 courses. On Monday, June 19th, we're going to have that introductory lesson, like I said, with memory and remembering, and then reviewing the women of the liberal arts tradition. On Wednesday, June 12th, I'm going to introduce Christine, her influencers, her writing, her work, all those kinds of things. And then we're going to we'll have two pieces that you need to have read for that session. The Path of Long Study, which I really love. It's a beautiful piece, and you will see a lot of echoes of Dante in that piece. And then the Letter from Othia, which is another great piece. On Friday, June 23rd, just one selection that we'll be reading, the Book of the City of Ladies, probably her most famous work. And her personality really comes out in this one, so I think you'll enjoy that. On Monday, June 26th, we'll be looking at two as well, the Book of Three Virtues, and then the Debate of the Romance of the Rose. And in that debate is the literary debate that I was referring to, that it's the first literary debate. And so we'll be looking at that. And her, she's got a sharp pen at times, and we'll be looking at that. Not a sharp tongue, but a sharp pen. On Wednesday, June 28th, we will be looking through Christine's Vision. And I just had the pleasure and the honor of writing a book review for Principia Journal on Christine's Vision. It is a book that's probably only about, and I don't have a page number. I mean, it's a tiny piece, but it is dense, it is layered. There's just many facets to it. So there's going to be a lot to go through on that one. It's a really wonderful piece. And then on our last day, we will look at the Book of Body Politic, which is essentially her version of A Mirror for Princes. And we'll talk about what the genre of mirrors are, and then we'll look at this piece as well. So this is a Socratic seminar. We'll be walking this together. You may already be a Christine friend and scholar. You will probably eclipse my knowledge in Dante, and you'll be making connections that I probably don't as well. And we'll just be walking together as friends in sort of a leisurely learning and bringing these ideas together. So we'll walk through all of these pieces together and have a good conversation. My hope and my takeaway is, number one, that we'll walk away with a real rich understanding of the importance of memory, that you will come to know Christine in a more personal way. And then third and finally, as we consider the rich tapestry of the liberal arts tradition, we'll begin to see places and ways that you can weave in some of these women, maybe Christine, into the curriculum work that you're already doing, without ever feeling like I or anybody else is asking you to set aside somebody who's excellent, like Dante, for example, that, in order to make room for her, is there a way that we can weave these women in within the fabric of the context of the curriculum that we're producing at our schools? And you can only do that, obviously, once you know who she is and make your own decision about whether or not you think that she's be a valuable addition. So I'll stop there for now. There's so much more to say, and I'm looking forward to meeting each one of you and walking this journey with you. Until June, have a great finish to your school year, and I'll see you before you know it.